Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to a new video of mine. If you don't know me, I'm Emily and I love talking about books. So, I'm so excited to finally film this video because this is the mid-year book tag, freak out tag. I don't know, but I'm just gonna talk about all the books I have read in the last 6 months and all the books I have specifically loved and absolutely became obsessed with, and that has been a lot of fun to figure out which were my best reads so far. So yeah, and I'm gonna talk all about them, and let's just get into it because I have so many books to talk about. So let's get this intro short. But first of all, I have some reading stats that I can also put in here that I just thought would be fun to share, I guess, you know what I mean? I love statistics and stuff like that, and I always use Storygraph, the app, for all my reading stats because it's just the easiest way to get them, and I'm too lazy to have a reading journal. So yeah, anyways, so far in this year I have read 126 books, which is absolutely insane. I have no idea how I did it, but I'm very happy with it. It was definitely a lot of 3-star books that I've just read and didn't really love, but I just read them because I had the time, you know what I mean? And a lot of them were also audiobooks, so I have read around 40 audiobooks already this year, so obviously that helps it, because otherwise I would read I don't know, let's say 80 books without audio. So keep that in mind when I say I read 126 books. But yeah, so I've got a lot of books, but honestly I would say I have 10 really good books I have read so far, which is really sad, I feel like, the comparison. So yeah, anyways, I've read 126. My moods were emotionally dark, mysterious, intense. I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, I've read so many thrillers this year, so that's why, I guess. And yeah, my main genre was romance, contemporary, thriller, fantasy, and then YA. And my most read authors are J.K. Rowling, Frida McFadden, Leigh Bardugo, and Sarah J. Maas. So that's fun as well. And yeah, my rating was 3.8, which is not that high. I have around 30 4-star books and 20-ish 5-star books, but 10 of them were Harry Potter, so I don't know if they count, I had a good January, let's just put it that way. But yeah, and those were all the stats I had for you guys, and now let's get into all the book racks. Okay, let's go. So the first question is the best book I have read so far in 2023, and I couldn't pinpoint one best book, but I'm trying not to repeat the books, because otherwise I have 5 books that I could just repeat for every single question. I'm trying not to do that, so that's fun. But definitely Six of Crows. I love that book so much. I love the whole Grishaverse universe. I'm not finished yet because I don't want to say goodbye, so I still have King of Scars and the second book in the duology. But I just love the universe so much. It's my favorite fantasy universe, and I love that Six of Crows has all the point of views of the 6 crows. So I love the multiple POVs and the diverse set of characters. There's LGBTQ, there are not all white people, which I feel is really important, because I feel in so many fantasy books it's just a white girl trying to survive, and I'm just don't care. So I love that about this book and everything about it, and I feel it's so fun because it's not a normal fantasy books where there's a girl, like I said, and she's becoming a queen or something. But this is actually about 6 outlaws or criminals, and they break into this prison to get someone out of prison, to get money from getting that person out of prison. They're just doing a heist, and that is so fun, and I just love the found family in this book so much. So I really love this book so much, and this is so far my favorite fantasy book I've read. Then we have Beartown. This is probably my favorite book so far. I have read all year, like my number one. I'm obsessed. I love Frederick Backman's books. Every single one has been 5-star. So I love his book so much. And this book really helped me getting out of my reading slump, or like pausing my reading slump for a minute, which was so good. And like I annotated the crap out of this book because I just love it so much. It's basically about a small town in Sweden, and there's a hockey team in the small town. They're like really like using this hockey team to like get a better infrastructure for the town. But then one of the hockey players, who is in high school still, assaults a girl in this town, and they're all trying to like put it under the rug and like trying to not have it exist, and like trying to deny it and be like, yeah, no, she's a liar and stuff like that. And it's just so heartbreaking, and the characters in this book are amazing, and I love it so much. And I'm going to talk about it later a little bit more, but I just love it. And Frederick Backman put in so many point of views, but you didn't get confused. And also I feel like you know those characters by like that page 100 so well. It is insane. So, and like what they're thinking and why they're doing what they're doing, and like you can like, I don't know, it's so good. I love it so much, and it's extremely floppy, which is really nice. So yeah. And the next book is one of the first books I have read this year. That is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett, which is a historical fiction book actually, which I had this book for such a long time, and I was so like intimidated, or like it's like, nah, I'm probably not gonna like it. And then I absolutely loved it, especially because of one character, which I'm going to talk later about this book. It is about two sisters, and they are from, I don't know, but they are two sisters, and they are from a small town in the south of the US. I think it's the south. And they are Black women, but then they leave this town when they were 16 because they just had a bad upbringing, I guess, and they were just like fleeing, I guess, and they didn't have a lot of money. And then one marries a black guy and the other one marries a white guy, and she's passing as white and the other obviously isn't. And then they both have children, and then the children kind of like meet because it's stretching for such a long time, and how their life is kind of like different, and how differently they kind of act and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a beautiful story, and I love it so much. And then the last book I'm going to talk about is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe, which I'm not done yet, but I'm rereading it this year, so I don't know if that counts, but I'm currently reading it, so I'm just gonna count it because I love it so much. Like rereading it makes me love it even more and appreciate it so much more. It's about these two guys, and they live in New Mexico in high school, and it's back in the 1980s, which I just love the vibe and the music so much. So I love that part. I love the New Mexico vibes, like in the desert and stuff like that. And they like become friends, and then it turns into romance, but like really slowly, because it's obviously the 80s and they don't know they're gay or queer or whatever. And it is just so beautiful and so relatable, like the way Benjamin Alier Sanes, I don't know, writes this is just so good and like relatable, and you're like, yes, same. With like growing up, it's basically about growing up. Aristotle is growing up, and that's what the book is about. And then he finds Dante along the way, like, you know, and it's just beautiful. So I love it so much. And then the next question is the best sequel I have read this year, and that was without a doubt Crooked Kingdom. It doesn't have a lot of pain, like the ending, what the fuck? Why would you do that? But I love it so much, and I think I like the plot more in Six of Crows, but like knowing all the characters so much more was making it even more special, I feel like, in this one. So that's why I loved it kind of even more. But yeah, I don't know, I just love it so much. And you finally got Wyland's point of view, who's my favorite character of the 6, so I just love it so much. And yeah, it's really, really, really good. And it was the best sequel by far that I've read. Which I didn't even read that many sequels, so yeah. And it is on Netflix, and the sticker doesn't go off. No. Now we're getting into some new releases I want to read, but I haven't read yet. And one of them is, and the first one is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I love Olivia Blake's writing so much. The Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox were one of my favorite books in last year's year of reading, I don't know. And so I'm really excited to read another book by her, and it just came out and I got the paperback, which I just love. So I really love this book so much. So yeah, no, I think I'm gonna love this book so much. That makes more sense. And then we have my most anticipated releases that are still coming out this year, and the first one is definitely None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I've read so many of Lisa Jewell's books this year and I love them all so much. Her thrillers are kind of different because I feel like it's really about the characters, and you learn so many different POVs, and like it's really like intense and sad kind of. I feel like most of her thrillers have been really sad, I guess, but yeah, not like a typical thriller, and like really good writing, I feel like. So I'm so excited about that one. Okay, so the next book I'm so excited to read is Heartstopper. No, my next highly anticipated release is Heartstopper, Heartstopper 5, which is coming out in November. So I'm so excited about that one as well. I think it's gonna be so fun, so good. I love the comics by Alice Oseman that she writes or draws, I don't know when you want to say it, but I love her books so much, and I'm so excited about another one, and like I want to reread the other ones before it drops, and I just love the books so much. So I'm really looking forward to that one. So that one I'm really excited about. And I recently read Fourth Wing, which is like the book right now, I feel like, and the second one comes out in November as well, and I'm really excited about that one as well because it was so good. Like it was such a fun fantasy book, I feel like. So I'm really excited about the second one, and also the way it ended, I need more information like ASAP, so I'm really excited about that one as well. And then we're going into the biggest surprises, and I would definitely say that was for one's Wishes, because I've heard great things about this book, but I didn't have like on my radar as like one of my favorite books, but it was so good. 4.5 stars. It was so quick and easy to get through, like so fast paced, short chapters, different kind of point of views, incredible. And like it's about these two guys that are best friends, and they kind of become extraordinary people. Like they have superpowers. I don't remember exactly what their superpowers were, but they were really cool. And basically you get your superpowers when you go through a near-death experience, and it was so good. And then one turns like evil and one is like good, and they're trying to figure out like what to do, and like the one fights against the other even though they were friends, and it is so good and I absolutely loved it. So yes. Then we have new favorite author, which I thought was really fun, and that is definitely Frida McFadden. I love her books so much. They were so fun and quick and easy to read. Fredrik Backman, because all of his books are 5-star reads. Such a like deep meaning behind it, but also so well written. I love all the characters in it, and it's just incredible. Then we have Lisa Jewell. Love her writing as well. Riley Sager, best thriller authors, honestly, and so good writing and good plot twists and stuff like that. So really enjoy their books. And then we have Leigh Bardugo. Like I love her books so much, and I'm so excited to read more of their books. So that's really fun. Yeah, I love them all so much. Then we have new fictional crushes, and I didn't have too many, so I actually invented a new question, which is also like the characters I loved the most, or like were the most memorable, I guess. But yeah, fictional crush was definitely Daniel from Part of Your World. and Sawyer from Runaway Groomsmen, because they were just doing so much for their female main character, and like the things they did were so good. Like Sawyer in Runaway Groomsmen, he built like cabins and stuff like for the main character without her even knowing, and the way he treated her grandpa who had Alzheimer's was so good, and like honestly amazing. Like the two best men I can remember, so they were great. And then the characters, we have Reese from The Vanishing Half. I don't want to say a lot about Reese. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about, but he is just the best boyfriend ever and the best person ever, and I love him so much, and I connected to him so deeply, and I absolutely loved him so much. And yeah, it's amazing. And then we have Benji from Beartown, who's main character, side character, I don't know, in this book, and it is so good. He is an amazing person. He has the best morals, and just like I love him so much. Like I have invented a whole tab just for moments where he was just a 10 out of 10. Like so good, and like every person in this book is just raising him, I guess. Absolutely love him so much. And then we have, as a female main character, we have Elizabeth Sod in Lessons in Chemistry. She was just such a strong female main character, kind of similar to Anatomy, because she was a chemistry person, a chemist in the 1960s, and obviously that's not too good because men are shit. So she had to go through so many struggles and so many hardships, but she was just going through it so strongly and amazingly, and I absolutely love her for that. So I loved it so much, and I love her as a character. She was great. And then we have books that made me cry, and we have A Man Called Ove, which was just so sad. It's another book by Frederick Backman, and again, so much annotations. And this book made me cry the whole way through. Like I started crying in the beginning and I never stopped. I feel like I was just crying the whole time, and it wasn't great, but it was definitely something, and I absolutely just loved it, and it was just amazing and heartbreaking. And it's basically about Ove, who's like the super grumpy man, and when you're reading it you kind of get why he's grumpy, and he's, trigger warning, he's trying to kill himself throughout the whole book. But then the community kind of, like his neighbors, kind of like stop him because he has something new to do every single day. He wants to kill himself, and that was like so fun but so sad to read about. And then you see like parts in his like past time, I guess, and like the way he lived. It was just so sad but so good, and I absolutely loved it so much. 10 out of 10. So then we have books that made me happy. We have Red, White, Royal Blue, which I read last year, and then I reread it this year as an audiobook. And I've never smiled so much during an audiobook. Like no audiobook has made me feel so many things, made me feel so giddy. In the gym working out, listening to this audiobook, I was smiling the whole time. I never wanted to stop. I was sitting in bed just listening to the audiobook because I did not want to stop, and the happiness it brought me was incredible because the way it was written is so good, and I love it so much, and I love these characters as well. And it is really sad because it's basically the first son of the president of the US falls in love with the Prince of England, which is obviously not so easy because they both in the public eye and stuff like that. So it's definitely not an easy rom-com, but still there were so many happy moments in it, and it was so funny. And just the beginning was so funny, the middle was so funny, the ending was a bit stressful, but it made me so happy, and just I love this book so much, and I want to like annotate it fully soon once the movie's out, which is coming out in August. I'm so excited about it. So yeah. Then we also have The Guncle, which is also an audiobook that takes place in Palm Springs about this gay uncle, and he lives like his nibblings. I think that's what they call when it's like, you know. But this guy takes in his nibblings because their mom died and their dad is going into rehab, so they live with him throughout the summer, and it was just such a fun book. Honestly, I was laughing so hard. The way he talks and the way it's written is so fun and happy. And then I visited Palm Springs, which made me also so happy, like seeing all the places again, and it was just really funny. So that one was also great. And yeah, and then the most beautiful book I bought this year, first of all it is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I love the simple covers and the colors and all the people on the cover and the side, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I love this book so much. It was a great book. I didn't love it as much as Book Lovers. It definitely takes place 2 right now by Emily Henry ratings, I guess, but it was still so good, and I love the found family in this book. And yeah, it was beautifully written, and the cover is also great, so yes. And the last one is book you need to read before the end of the year, and that is definitely Abby Jimenez, the second book in the set, I guess, about the best friend of the main character, and I'm so excited about this one. And there's a dog on the cover, which I just absolutely love, so that's fun. And yeah, I'm really excited about this book, and I've heard so many good things about the way anxiety is represented in the book, which I love because yeah, so I'm really excited about this one. And then I need to read the second book in the Beartown trilogy, which is Us Against You. Recently got the book, and I'm trying to like space it out because I just love this universe, I guess, so much in Sweden, and I'm really scared because I feel like it's gonna be super sad, so I'm a little bit intimidated, but I really want to read it soon, and I think it's gonna be another 5-star book. Okay, so yeah, those were all the books that for me were some of my favorite books I have read this year, or will be reading this year, hopefully. We'll just see what happens, but yeah, those were like my favorite books so far, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and yeah, bye guys, peace out.